All right. What is going on, Discord and YouTube family? And welcome back to another edition Market Review with me, T. Hobbs. Oh man, today was kind of brutal for me personally. Uh, it's one of those things where you know, we're gonna get to the market review portion of everything, but we're going to be reviewing the same stuff we review every day, but this is also kind of like my personal journal too. So I try to make sure I'm honest with myself in these reviews. And honestly, today I traded like shit. Like that's it. The question is why? What did I do that I don't normally do? Right? That ended up making me. Ultimately, I blew two accounts. Right? Like I have four accounts, or five if you count the Apex account. And I blew the Apex account 250K, didn't even get a payout. It was really close, but I tilted and if anybody knows me, sometimes I can just go straight full explosion mode. And then I blew one of my fundeds for Top Step. So I stopped. Good news is I stopped before it got nuclear, right? And I got up, I walked away, I went and did some things with my daughter, picked her up and all that good stuff. So today I'm gonna discuss, things that led to my tilt, in addition to doing the market review, because to me, I feel like market review is just technical, right? Like anybody can sit here and tell you what their plan was, all that good stuff, but the execution is important, right? Like how you execute the plan, right? So first things first, one thing about me personally is when I miss opportunities, it fuels my tilt, right? It fuels it, right? So the first thing is last night in the overnight session, I don't mind trading Tokyo as long as the volatility's here. And I like to trade it at 9:30. Right at 9:30, I got long 50-40, 54.22.5. And then I moved my stop in profit, right, for about 6 points. I don't know why I put it here. I guess my thought process was we shouldn't be coming back below this wick, but with the volatility or whatever it is, doesn't matter. I should have never moved my stop. Like that's my point. Either I'm going to take profit or I'm going to hold to here, or at least when we get into here, like then you can move your stop in profit once we get above the 41s, right? We never got above and closed above the 41s. I moved my stop in profit. I got stopped out for 6 points, and this sent me on nuclear tilt to the point where now I'm upset, and I was just shorting, trying to get the market to come back down here as if I had some type of magical powers. At that point, I was down. I started the morning in the New York session down. I was already irritable, and then price just wasn't doing kind of what I wanted it to do. I gave up on any shorts, which was a very bad idea considering we were at aggressive premium after a gap up following my top down analysis, right? Like gap up to come down, like this was the perfect setup. I faded my top down analysis, and then I turned around and faded my basic rules, right? Which I have my framework, which is my chessboard. I have my foundation, which is supply and demand. But inside of that, I also have like rules that I play by. One of the big rules that I play by is I don't really look to long the market above midnight. And this is one of the reasons why, because especially when we rally up this high already from Tokyo, right? Like, yeah, we could keep going in a bull market, but in a bearish type market, this is usually a sign that we're about to come back down. And I knew that. Like, I knew everything I'm telling you guys, or I'm saying in this video, is nothing that I didn't already know, right? Like, and it doesn't change anything. I'm not gonna go tonight and sulk and change my entire strategy tomorrow. Like, no, my frustration is what led to my tilt, not necessarily the technical part of it, right? Because if you look at this, I mean, I wrote a beautiful pre-market plan. I just didn't follow it. Like, and that was something that I used to be guilty of back in the day. And it's funny now because like I can kind of laugh and giggle at this shit because like I am a profitable trader, right? Like, I do pull money out of the market. So like now, like as before, like I used to be in tears, like, dropped out on the floor crying when stuff like this happened. Now I'm just like 2 tears in a bucket. Like it's fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's really nothing now because it's like, okay, yeah, I lost 2 accounts, but those accounts paid me well, right? Like I did certain things to cushion myself against these potential mishaps because I'm still human, right? I traded my live account. I made money on my live account, right? Like, so I did have a kind of a balanced out day, but I did lose 2 accounts. And to me, I feel like those are the things we really should be talking about. Like, I haven't had a day like this in a while, but I think we should talk about that when we do. So anyway, let's get to the market review. And if you guys watch the top down analysis, I'll link it. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it at the end of this video in the end cap screen. So far, so good, right? We talked about the top down analysis gapping up. I said I wanted to see the market gap up, and this is why I was so bullish. Not because I'm bullish overall, but after a gap up, I thought we would get a continuation move above these highs into this volume imbalance. And I was so fixated on this volume imbalance all day that the market just continued to push and fail and fail and fail. And I just ignored it, right? Like, it's like, bro, like, it ain't happening. It might happen, but it might not happen today, right? Ultimately, I wanted to see a gap up because I'm still bearish. We gapped up, and guess what? The market couldn't go anywhere after that, right? So I was right. I just traded it incorrectly. What was my macro plan? We were in the markup phase, which we were, right? But this is technically still a retracement of this bearish trend here. The only reason why I didn't really view it that way is because this high here never really got below any lows. But I mean, the most recent low that was established was almost 10% ago, right? Like, it was a while ago. So it's kind of hard on the 4 hour to identify a low. So this could technically do whatever it wants up here, right? Within the confines of structure, I should say. All right, so yeah, so I had us in the markup phase, which I think that's still valid. Like, we're still in a big trend, but we're marking up. We were bullish as long as we stayed above 52.51, which we did, right? And we were bearish as long as we stayed below 55.27. And this was my kicker, right? Like, if I just draw this line right here, right, this was what I should have been paying attention to the most. 55.27 or 55.28 with the magnet on 55.28.75. Like, we could never trade into that level. Like, we couldn't even get into the 5,500. Like, that's extremely bearish, right? So that should have been my red flag number one. But again, I was already in the longs. I was participating in the longs up here, which goes against all rules, but it's all good. We gapped up during the Tokyo and we did not close the gap. This is bullish for now, so I will play the current trend on pullbacks. And this is where you can kind of see I was tilted, right? Because I don't even talk like this. I'm going to play the current trend on pullbacks into either the overnight range or the PM session range, only looking for shorts at the DVI leg. Come on. Or the 4 hour supply zone. So the only way I can short the market is if we come all the way up here. Is like, bro, that's like 100 points away, right? So ultimately, what I should have been paying attention to is the things that are automatic. My overnight range, PM session range. Our overnight range was from 54.83 to 54.70 at the highs, 54.29 to 54.10 at the lows. The PM range was 54.18.50 through 53.85.25 at the high, 53.67 through 53.41 at the lows, right? These two ranges were clutch, right? Again, when I went back and looked at price action with a sober mind, right, without being drunk from getting punched in the face by the market, right, I realized, like, hey, like, what are you tripping about? Your plan still worked. You just poorly executed, and then you didn't allow yourself to just lose, right? You decided to make it worse by taking the ultimate loss, which is sacrificing a couple accounts, right? That's my mistake. It's not that I lost. It's just I couldn't accept losing, right, and walking away, right? Instead, I made losing equal an ultimate loss, which is, you know, a nice little funded account, right? So a couple funded accounts, one of them which was pretty high up there on Apex, right? Like, I was up there, you know what I mean? But all it takes is one bad day of not managing risk, right? And that's what I failed to do today. It wasn't about my plan, it wasn't about my technical analysis, it wasn't none of that. I failed to manage my risk properly. And when you fail to manage your risk properly, bad things will happen, right? I don't care how good you are, right? If you don't manage your risk properly, you're gonna fail, right? Ultimately, you're gonna fail. Sorry about that. But yeah, so anyway, let's go over the things we normally go over, which is macro time and structure. How the market played into the structure was very, very important today. If we zoom out, right, and we look at the daily time frame, right, what I was anticipating was a gap up, right, and then a push above that high. Like, these sellers are not allowing price to leave this area, which is causing us to just balance out at this level. The longer we stay balanced out here, it's not going to be good for the bulls. Like, it's just not. The bulls need to make a new high, right? This is the second day in a row that they failed to make a new high, and they gapped up to start the week, okay? Gapping up into what is currently the top, or some would say premium, right, of this dealing range, right? Just this dealing range from the high to this low. From gapping up into this premium, even though overall, yes, we are in discount. That's not debatable. But gapping up into this premium and then not even pushing up into that area and then closing the day with a doji, like, that's kind of suspect, right? Like, that's evening star territory. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. But today was a failure by the bulls. Like, I don't give a shit what anybody says. This was a failure, right? The fact that they couldn't even move 1 cent above Thursday's price, they just kind of balanced out here with that gap up. That's not good. That means somebody is absorbing a ton of liquidity down there, right? Or up there. So, and I doubt if they're absorbing it to take it higher, right? They wouldn't enjoy being in pain. They want to be in profit, right? So anyway, let's move over to 929.30, right? And again, what things that I missed, right? Like, when you look back on it with a sober mind, like I said, I went and spent some time with my kid, took a shower, all that good stuff. Now I'm sober and I'm just laughing at this because it's laughable that I would do anything but go short up here. Like, it's honestly laughable. Like, me as a person who I am, right, as a structural time-based trader that views the market on a macro time frame, it's laughable that I was even looking to short the market. But lo and behold, I mean, looking to long the market, but lo and behold, I was definitely long this market, right? Because again, what are my rules? One, I'm looking for price above midnight to potentially come back down to retest midnight. Anything above midnight, I'm looking to short the market. Anything below midnight, I'm looking to get long, right? And you know, that thesis, I'm going to be right more times than I'm wrong. It doesn't mean 100% of the time that works, but I'm going to be right more times than I'm wrong. But more importantly, forget time, structure. Like, just simple structure that I just chose to ignore. I don't know what was going on with my brain. Like I said, it started with the tilt in the overnight session. Then by the time this session started, I feel like I just wasn't all there or something. I don't know. But you can clearly see the break of structure here. You can clearly see the break of structure here. Like, I mean, this is clear as mud, right? Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, we're breaking structure here, right? We're breaking structure here, right? Then we come up and run those highs, and then we break structure one more time. Like, for the life of me, I can't even figure this out. I can't even understand, like, why would I be going long down here? Because this is where I got long. I think I got long here. I might have even got long inside of this candle. Like, my execution screen looked like a freaking storm hit it. I couldn't even, when I went back to go review my executions, I was like, where do I even start? Like, you know what? This is a watch day. Just take the account. I'm done. Like, I'll re-up the next day, right? But again, if I'm just sticking to my rules, right, none of this happens, right? And that's what I'm holding my hat on, is like, yeah, I went tilt, but my system still works, right? Nothing that I'm doing has changed. The market still moves the exact way that I've been training for. The reason why I lost was psychological. It has nothing to do with my system, right? And that's what's important, is that you stop and think, like, okay, am I going to go cry in the car? Am I going to get up and go trade the market the same way tomorrow? I'm going to get up and go trade the market the same way tomorrow. No big deal, right? No harm, no foul, right? But anyway, if we take this structural high right here, two things. One, we have a gap, right? So we have a fair value gap there into there on the 5 minute. Beautiful setup. 925 to 935, there's your freaking entry, no doubt about it, right? Like, inside of this area right here, I'm looking for shorts. I promise you I was in these longs, and I promise you I ate this whole candle, right, thinking, it's just gonna pull back. Not even logical. Like, it's not even logical. Like, if it didn't make a new high, it broke structure 3 times, like, you know what's coming next, right? Like, you just can't fight that shit. Like, today I fought it, and I was also tilted, right? And I'm on here just like I would do anybody else, cooking myself, right? Like, I'm gonna cook Anybody else that does some dumb shit like this, like I might not cook you per se, because you may not be able to handle, the way that I come for myself, right? But I'm still gonna let you know, like, you fucking up. Like, don't do that shit no more. But again, I could deal with this mistake, right? Because it wasn't this mistake that killed me. This was the mistake, right? I was in long. I could have took profit. I did. I mean, I took 12 points. I was up 23, but that's not the thing that went to that I fucked up on. The thing that I effed up on is, like, once I lost, right? Once I took a L, right? I took this L right here, and then from that moment forward, I think I loaned every single black candle coming down here, knowing damn well we haven't gotten to one. We hadn't even got below midnight. That's number one, right? I tried another one here at 54.10. I think that was the savage one that just, I mean, they just wicked me out in profit for like 2 points. And then I said I was done, but then I started dancing around in this, and this was like dancing with the devil. And I think this is where the Apex account went to die. The Apex account, the Top Step account went to die somewhere in here. The Apex account, it met its fate definitely in this little framework here, because shortly after I got up and was like, I gotta go shower and get up out of here. I gotta go do something else. But anyway, there's nothing to change, right? Like, my plan was to get short up here. I didn't get short up here. My plan was to take the market down to here. I didn't do that. I was trying to get long as it was coming down, right? Like, what am I doing, right? That's just not conducive to winning. And I'm a winner, right? And I'll be better tomorrow. No big deal. It's nothing. But I gotta keep it a buck, right? I gotta make sure that if I'm gonna hold Discord members, my friends, my peers to a certain standard, I gotta hold myself to that same standard, right? And today I effed up, period, right? 2 accounts gone. That's the end result. Still got 2, right? I'm good, right? But at the same time, this can't go like this. It's okay to take L's. Just walk away. Why I gotta delete the account, right? Like, why do I have to go out there and delete the account? That's not what I should have done, right? Like, that's irresponsible, and it's poor risk management. These things are gonna continue to happen. I'm gonna miss these trades. I'm gonna foobar and F up and be in the wrong direction because I'm human, right? But then I gotta be mature enough to just say, bro, you was wrong, walk away, but don't cook the account. Or I gotta be mature enough to at least have a daily loss limit. I blew past all my daily loss limit. Like I said, it was a bad day. But anyway, let's continue with the market review, man. Again, it's psychology corner, but also a market review. So when we get down to 1150, we do this little dance here, and I swear I was watching a dude on YouTube. He was still shorting this thing down here. I was just like, bro, you're crazy. But anyway, we got this aggressive wick to the downside at 53.91. More importantly, let's see what we did. What we did was we had this gap up. They filled the gap, which honestly, I didn't expect them to do today. I didn't, right? They filled the gap. They swept the lows of the PM session from Friday. Once they did that, that was the signal. That was the back signal to get long, because the objectives have been met, right? Clearly they want more, but anyway. So that was the bad signal to get long, because we're just consolidating, right? If you look at the daily candle, it's one big doji. So if we're consolidating, your job as a trader is to identify the highs and lows, right? Like, because we're in a range. The market can't make new highs. It can't make new lows. Therefore, you need to trade the extremes. You get short up here, you get long down here. The market dances around for a little bit. Shout out to Valdez, because I think he entered this trade long. He said it took like 2 hours for him to get to his profit target. That's just telling me, like, look how fast the market's coming down and baptizing this low, right? Like, anybody that's still bullish, RIP to crypto bros, because I hear it on Twitter or on X the whole time. Like, this market is coming down and it's going to hell. I don't care what anybody says. You can't convince me otherwise. This market is going to hell. And when it starts to come down, right? Like, it's already started, but every single pump we get is just inducement, right? You ever notice as the volatility picks up right now, the market is juking really fast, aggressively to the downside. It keeps pushing because it's trying to induce people to sell at the lows, right? And then it rallies aggressively back to the upside. It's trying to induce you to buy at the high, right? The market's doing that on a higher time frame too, and it's trapping a lot of people that don't understand market structure, right? A lot of people think that this is just a simple pullback. This was the bottom, and we're just going higher. I am not in that camp. right? So ultimately, I know I didn't go over much market review type stuff because this market review, it wasn't really about the market. It was about me, right? And what I did wrong. Because again, I use these reviews right now, right? As the channel grows, they will start to be a little bit more structured. But right now, this is my personal journal, right? And I'm sharing it with you guys. I share it on YouTube. Thank God a lot of people don't watch it right now, but I share it everywhere because I want to keep it a buck. I want to keep it authentic. And when I F up, you're going to hear about it. If I do well, you're going to hear about it too, because I'm pretty loud when I do well too, right? But when I F up, I'm definitely going to hold myself accountable, right? And make sure that everybody knows just as loud as I am with screenshots, just as loud as I am with, I don't talk about my payouts and all that stuff, but as loud as I am with the positives, I want to be even louder when the negatives hit. Today was a negative, right? But it wasn't negative because I didn't follow my plan. It wasn't negative because my technical analysis or my entry criteria was incorrect. It was negative because I didn't manage my risk. That is my job as a trader. It's like coming to the construction site and not bringing your hammer and a tool belt, right? Like you can't really do your job if you ain't prepared. And today I just wasn't prepared to do my job, and I failed at that. But I'm gonna be better, right? It's no biggie, right? Let's move over to the Dow Jones again. The difference between the Dow Jones, this was interesting, right? The Dow Jones did some crazy stuff last night, right? If anybody was watching it or, you took a look at the charts this morning, I'm going all the way down to the 5-second chart here for a reason, because I want to show you something that I thought was extremely interesting, right? Like whether it be a bull or bear, somebody was very interested in moving liquidity last night at around 11 p.m. Okay, they were sneaking into the dark pools in the middle of the night, and they moved price. This is the 5-second chart. Okay, from here to here is 521 points, right? And that is from 11:07 and 20 seconds to 11:08 and 55 seconds. So in less than a minute, they dumped the Dow Jones 1.28%. Who was it? I don't know. Why? I don't know. But it's interesting. And then, even more interesting, within 5 seconds, this candle had rallied back up. Well, it didn't even rally back up. The candle skipped a beat, and when it opened 5 seconds later, we were 331 points back to the upside. So if you don't believe in market manipulation, I really need you to study what I just said, right? Really think about how that's even possible, right? Nobody's getting up at midnight or, at 11 p.m. and saying, hey, I want to sell 500 shares of or whatever it takes to dump the Dow 500 points, right? Unless it's manipulated, right? Like they did all of that to sweep the lows, the previous PM session low, and then they rallied it aggressively back to the upside. And then again, it just repeated the same thing. We talked about it this morning with Malik. We talked about if we couldn't get back above 40,971 or this wick right here, the market was going to come right back down, right? But I had it just stopping inside of the TOR, the top of the range. That's what it did. It kind of swept it, came back into about 70% of this wick, and then went back to the upside. But notice how every time we come up here, we can't make new highs. That's significant because we had a gap up. We did not gap down, we gapped up, right? If you watch the top-down analysis, you should be able to dictate kind of what that means, right? In regards to what direction the market's truly trying to go in, right? And then over here on the NASDAQ, same thing. Huge gap up, right? Rally up, come all the way back down after hitting this level, can't get above it, right? Can't trade above 248.75 in the 19,000 range. And then we make a new low, get below the gap. And now we're trying to fight to take out this in wall, right? Like whenever the market gets below this, it's gonna be night time, right? Because I thought we would crawl up way higher than this, like way higher. I'm actually pretty shocked that we didn't go much higher. But and then the volatility index. Just gonna point out one thing: the volatility index did not gap up; it gapped down. Okay. Whenever something gaps down, I'm not gonna say whenever. I'm just gonna say this: in order for the market or any instrument to go bullish, it has to go down first, right? Like that's just how the candle's created. Like don't take my word for it. Look at any candle that goes up and tell me, does it have a bottom wick? right? Therefore, you can deduce from that in order to go up, you need to go down first, right? So the theory here is if something gaps down, right, what we deem to be discounted price, okay, gapping down inside of a discounted area or going to discount, it's coming down for a purpose, right? Whether that purpose be to continue to liquidate the lows. My thought process is it's coming down and it's going to come down to about 16.5, maybe even back down to 15 or hold 19.5. But by the end of the week, I'm looking at us potentially traveling back to the upside. And if that happens, then now we're looking at the market becoming extremely bearish, because then it'll have the strength of the VIX on its heels there. So we'll see how it plays out, but ultimately I'm watching it all. And again, I do apologize for the rant, right? But I think it's important to be honest. I think it's important to be transparent, because if you listen and let any YouTuber tell it, they never lose. Okay, they don't blow accounts, they don't do X, Y, and Z, and then you look at their account PA number on Apex when they show it, and they like, you know, upwards to 600-700 blown PA accounts. It's like, hold on, yeah, you made X amount of dollars, but damn, bro, like, look how many accounts. Where are those videos at? That's the question you got to ask your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. Where the videos at are you losing though, right? What it meant. So I want to just flip the mode a little bit. Like, I really make longer videos when I lose, right? When I lose, I want you to hear about it. I want you to hear the psychology of it. I want you to hear every angle of it, because maybe it can help you, because me winning ain't going to help you, right? Me showing you that I can pull money out of the market doesn't make you a penny. But me showing you what I do when I lose money in the market can actually take you a lot further. So those are my thoughts on the market. Like I said, a little bit of extra psychology spiced into that. But I want you guys to remember, man, like, you can continue to survive all of these bad days. The only thing you can't do is you can't have bad days and a misuse of risk, right? As long as you manage your risk, you will be just fine. But if you can't stop yourself from going to the max of the pain, meaning I'm down, my max risk on a day is 1,500. I'm down 1,450 and I size up and I say, screw it, I'm going to use that other 1,500 or that other 3,000 or whatever it is, because I just want to get back green. The moment you cross that threshold, you will do it not only in prop, you will do it when you get to your live account, you will do it when you get anywhere. If you disobey your rules in paper trading, in a prop firm, you will do it with live funds, because you're a poor risk manager. Those are the habits of a poor risk manager. So I want to make sure that I'm very, very clear to myself that if I want to manage my risk, I want to manage money, the worst thing I can do is have days like this that not only go from losers, not only they're losers, but they go from losing days to blow up days. And what if that was my real money, right? Ain't no reset button, ain't no new prop, like that money just gone, right? So I gotta get out of that habit of taking it to the brink. I gotta get to the point where once I hit my max loss, it's over. It's gotta be over. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the market. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is T Hobbs. This is the Trader Shop. I'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.